Hey guys, I'm Dave with Windows LLC. I've been installing replacement windows for over half my life. A couple of things I want to show you about a replacement window, and the most pertinent part to a window is the low E and the argon gas. And the reason why the low E and the argon gas is so important is because the argon gas holds in the air that's in the room, and the low E deflects the sunlight. I'm not a scientist, so I'd like to show you how it works. I'm a carpenter that has to explain the science behind the window. So when I turn on the heat lamp right now, this only spins from the infrared heat that the sun produces. So the sun will produce three different types of light. It produces visible light, infrared, and ultraviolet. Ideally, we just want to capture the visible light that comes in from the sun and block out the ultraviolet and the infrared. The ultraviolet can fade your furniture and things like that. So I'm going to take a window, and I'm here just talking to the cameraman, so it's not as easy as if I was joking around with the homeowners, but that's okay. I'm going to do my best to show you all the things that I would normally show a homeowner. If I was to take a window like this has just two pieces of glass, one on both sides. This is technology that you would see from the 80s and the 90s. And some of the builders in certain states didn't put the low E or the argon on, even though you have a double pane window, all the way up till I've seen it as high as 2012 and on up. So it's nice to check your windows to see if they have lower E or argon, which on this giant home I just bought myself, the windows were newer, but they don't have the low E or the argon. So when I'm sitting at my dinner table, I was feeling all of the sun's heat on my arm. Now, if we were to put this window slide in front, and if we were to just leave this here for, say, 10 minutes, both sides of the glass will get hot. Now, to speed things up, or to make things cheaper, we're just gonna throw, honey, we're throwing blankets over the windows. We're gonna put insulation over. Unfortunately, you probably wouldn't want to do that because that could catch fire, and you're not bachelors anymore. So you're gonna have to buy the wife new windows. So the low E is very hard to see what side the low E is on. So I had to took me a little bit, and I've had to mark a dot on the one side that has the low E, because on the inside looking out, it's super clear. You won't notice a big difference in the transformation of your new windows with the low E and argon. Now you see that the wheel is spinning, and that only spins, I believe, from the infrared heat. And I'm going to say I believe because I'm not a scientist, so I'd like for you to research some of the things that I'm teaching you yourself and cross-reference it to how it works. I do have a solar meter, and it indicates solar energy W/M squared, so I think watts per minute squared. And when I would lift this up before, it shoots up to 100 to 150 depending, well, even higher if I shoot it directly in front of the window. But if I can I'll get you a visual of this thing here. It's down at 5% right now with the window that has the low E block in that. So we'll leave this here for about 10 minutes just to kind of speed up what would happen throughout a couple hours throughout the morning when it starts to get hot. So as you all know, living in a 4-season state is that 1 minute it could be 30 degrees in the morning, and then 60 or 70 or 80 later in the afternoon. So glass expands and contracts. And windows back then, I get this question a lot, is why do I need to replace my windows? Or, well, I say this, do they leak at all? Because if they leak just that much all the way around the whole window, well, now you have a larger crack actually. Or if you take my house, for example, why do I need to replace my windows? Even if they don't leak at all, there's no technology in them that's going to hold the heat in the room, so the heat can transmit through the glass and back outside. And same with the hot air from outside and the cold air from outside, it can radiate through this area. But if I create a barrier with argon gas, which is only 7 gases, there's helium, oxygen, nitrogen, argon, krypton. And in the window industry, we use two types of gases. We use krypton and we use argon. We prefer to use argon because it's much less expensive and it works very well. So when they built your home, your house doesn't have low E and argon between the walls. You have pink insulation where throughout a majority of throughout the day and over time throughout the day, that pink insulation, that R13 can only absorb so much of that radiation, that heat, and it'll actually come in, you'll start to feel hot inside. So there's other tricks to keeping the heat off the house. Since we're talking about low E, I have LowE House Wrap that we use when we're doing siding. So if you're putting on vinyl, if you're putting on vinyl siding, you can put the LowE House Wrap on, and the space between it and Dutch lap is pretty great. So you create insulation between the two. And from the LowE class, they told me that you create an R value of R4. So you can cross-reference that with the ESP LowE House Wrap and hop on their website to see how that works. So while the experiment is working and the sun is hitting our windows and we're trying to sit inside and be comfortable and watch TV and not feel that heat, I'm going to let that get hot and we'll show you how that works. So for right now, we're going to look at my window and why I like my window. Now, I'm an independent contractor, so I can use Tom or Dick's or Harry's window. It doesn't matter. I have the ability to choose what's best for you or the application that you're telling me that we are jumping into. So if I get to the back room and I didn't know Grandma's back there in a rocking chair with the blanket on and it's 60 degrees out, we know we need to put triple pane windows in Grandma's room. So my job when I come out to do the interview to help you to see if you need LowE or argon windows, and if you need windows, is to do a full investigation. So we're going to take a look at the Simonton 5500 window and why I like to use it. So the window itself, you just go ahead and unlock it. It opens up, it has a nice lip, so if you did your fingernails or you need to have something to grab onto, right? So the window goes up and the top one also goes up and down. But the neat thing about the window is from inside the house, you don't have to jump on a ladder no more to do this task. You can tip it back, and you can also do that from here. Just tips back like that. Now, in my opinion, a good window, or some of the best windows should have at least 2 or 3 types of weather stripping going around it. This one has weather stripping here and on the side. So when you go to flip it back, it clips in like that. You can give it a little tug to make sure it latches. That goes up in the roof. This one comes like this, and then it would lock. And if you wanted to leave, and you're scared of, I locked it. You're scared of Grizzly Adams, you can stop them from coming inside the house. Or if you want to stop your wife from sneaking out at night, you can do that too. All right, so that's one part of the window. Another thing that I want to show you on the window is that if you had large furniture or a part broke on the window and you need to take the window out, it pops out. This part on the window is important. It's important to me that it doesn't break and that the metal's good. And I like the Simonton, the part here. And I also like the material they use on the bottom right here because it squishes and it has longevity. And I've seen some of their windows from the 2000s for customers that had a broken switch or latch and they needed my help. And I've inspected that and I've noticed that it still has good firm cushion to it. So I'm going to set that aside and bring the window towards you just a little bit more. Let me pop the screen off and we'll talk about that in 2 seconds. So you've seen how easy that does come off. Another thing I really like about the Simonton window is it has only a 3 degree, 3 degree, and a 3 degree slope. So what's good about that is it's not real aggressive. It's not at a 10 or even a 10 or even a 14 degree slope like some of the early generation vinyl windows. And what's good about that in my situation is that when my window seats, it's hanging on there barely, there's 2 pieces of rubber right here. And when I go to push it closed and lock it, it's hitting a flat surface so that more weather stripping's down the bottom so that air can't whistle in and leak inside the house. So right here, this is probably the most important part of the window, is the balance system. And there's different types of balance systems. There's block and tackles, and then there's this tension system. I don't know the exact names for each one, but this part right here, this piece that I'm touching, that is magnificent. I mean, it's actually really heavy duty in this industry, and I'm not sure what the patent is to get that part, but I'm sure it's a couple dollars per window, if there is a patent on it. I know there's patents on those pieces. I don't know if that one's one that Simonton designed or not. And then on the tension system itself that goes to the coil pack, if it ever breaks or acts up, it's easy for me to get to it. And it's 3/4 of an inch thick. And I believe a lot of the parts that the Simonton uses is either nickel or stainless steel. It's high quality materials. And you could please double check that with them. So I'm gonna pop this back in. Oh, yeah, got a hook in there. I'll close it, and when it's closed, there is no play in this window. And I like that there's no play in the window. And that way when we're out installing the jobs, whether it's me or back in the day, it was me and my dad, we're putting the windows in, you have to put it in perfect. There's no excuses about doing sloppy workmanship out there. You have to put it in great, or your locks won't work while you're trying to install it. The screen, very unique window company. The fact that they spot weld or crimp the corner here, and then it also has a piece of metal in there, they crimp the corner, and they use extrusion aluminum. So when you try to bend extrusion aluminum, you can't. I've had one guy try, but he didn't succeed. So I'll put the screen back in. You just take the spring side there, pop it in on the side, and you slide it back down. Now if you wanted a full screen, you'd want to order the window with full screens. The bottom's not made. It's just not made to line up with that window. So, and I think that's every window in America, the bottom sash is going to be a different size normally than the top because of that slope sill. Whoa, we almost forgot about the sun hitting our window. So let's go over here and see what happened. So I think we need to turn this off because it's been at least 10 minutes and I don't want to leave it on too hot and crack my old Anderson windows on the house I just bought or the slide. So we're going to pull it off and we're going to see what's going on. Now, I guess I won't be able to totally vouch. I mean, I can. You guys can, let me turn this on. So this was the side that the sun hit. Ooh. I'm putting my cheek on it, but I'm not putting my cheek on the sun side. So we're gonna come over here and we're gonna see exactly what happened here. So this one's 115, 120 degrees, 138 degrees in the center, 140 degrees in the center. Can you guys see that? The degrees there, what we're hitting. Now we're gonna flip this around. You saw me flip it around, right? This is the side without the dot. And it's at 70. It's warmer than, it's cooler than my body temperature. It's at 80 degrees. So the other side was 140 at the hottest. And here it's registering about 77, 81 degrees. So that's that right there. Well, that's the part about my job that I love, is that I can leave your home and see that you're ecstatic and that you're comfortable and that you love your living room now, that you can sleep at night, you don't feel the cold air. So the unique thing about the windows, and the reason why I'm so invested in the trade with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment and trailers and trucks, is because I like it. I like meeting you, I like helping you. I bought these pieces of equipment so that I can scan the door, scan your attic, scan your windows, and I can show you firsthand what's actually going on with bad technology put onto your house. So if we can do it, you can put the LowE House Wrap, you can put it on with us. You can put this on. There's another type of this that has a black, more of and it's coated on both sides with the LowE. You can put it on your roof. You can make your attic space and your roof 30 degrees less hot than your neighbors. You can put it on your siding. You can make rooms and hallways that don't have heat registers to blow air into the room. You can make them more comfortable. And the best way to try to explain it, and I'll bring it up closer to the camera so you can see it, is if you ever drink a hot cup of coffee and you're drinking this hot cup of coffee out of a paper cup and it burns your fingertips. Well, if you pour that hot cup of coffee into, say, a regular styrofoam cup, you can hold it as long as you want and it won't burn your hand. So that's the one barrier. And the other principle to this, if this is real, so the window, when they make LowE, it's microscopic layers of silver sprayed onto the window. And this is real, forgot the name, aluminum. So aluminum has a 93% return on conduction, and stainless steel has an 83%. That's why when you're grilling and the grill is 450 degrees, you can hold your hand right off the top of the grill. So that's what's so cool about this product, is it can instantly deflect the heat off the house or the surface, whatever it is. Now the way LowE works, and I didn't tell you everything about LowE because I want to describe everything that you can do to a house to make it energy efficient. That used to be our slogan. Our slogan was save money on utility bills with energy efficient windows, and now it's been siding and roofing materials. So there's all sorts of different ways to do it. LowE deflects the sunlight, but it is sprayed on. This is very important. Doesn't matter if you're in a 1-story, 2-story, or 3-story home, because the sun is so high in the summertime. It's, you know, sky high at noon. It shoots a ray straight down. It actually hits your grass and then your house. So it's sprayed on at an angle to deflect the ray. Now in the wintertime, and if it's a real hot winter day, you'll feel more sun than you want to, but you'll, in a wintertime, typically it's cooler in a 4-season state. The LowE is sprayed on so that that heat ray can come in the house and help warm the home. So that stuff's been tested and proven by the manufacturers that create these windows, and I've actually had the ability with the heat gun and the experience of installing windows on a hot December day to feel more heat than I wanted on a really cold day, to be able to take off my shirt, sweaters or jacket and work, you know, in that den or whatever it is and feel some warmth from that. So trying to think if there's anything that I want to cover. So we talked about the Simonton window, and like I said, that's my go-to window a lot of times for white windows, but some people want black windows, they want red windows, and it's important to know what manufacturer to lean on when you get to that. So I do have other windows that I prefer to use for those applications, so you just have to call me. I'm, again, Dave with Energy Windows. My number is 540-671-9243, and I can tell you who and which manufacturer I would use if I was going to do like green, silver, red, black, or bronze. I prefer the I'll just say it, I prefer the Wincore 7700, but that's just my personal experience. I'm an independent. Hopefully I was able to show you this whole heat lamp kit and experiment, and you're kind of blown away by that. The next step to a good house is good functioning gutters. We own our own gutter machine. So once the water falls off your roof, you need to expel the water far away from your house so that it's not all the water coming off the gutter, pouring, or going down the downspout, and then from there, nobody thought where to put it. It needs to go farther away from the home, or you need to create trenches and valleys and do some water mitigation. So I'm trying to keep your home safe and get it to last a long time. And unfortunately, I've tried to do this 100 times myself. I've gone outside for just 5 minutes, like I'm on the house, and just went like this. It's torturous. So your home needs to have new caulking, needs to have functioning gutters, needs to have paint, and you need to have house wrap and things like that to get it to last a long time. So hopefully my video, you found it informational. It helped you make a decision, even though you have, like me, windows from the 2000s that don't leak. There's no technology to help you make that decision why you want to get new windows for your home. So thanks for chatting. Glad you're able to listen to me. Sorry I didn't get to crack any jokes. It's early in the morning, but if I come out to your home, I promise I'll make it fun. Talk to you soon.